Good morning, Gary's Tour fans. I thought you might enjoy seeing a video of what it's like to commute to work in Manhattan. We're on the 80, Interstate 80, approaching the George Washington Bridge, and it's bumper-to-bumper traffic. And my Google Maps says we have a 20-minute delay, which is normal. We're actually trying to get down today to our destination, which will be the Empire State Building, because we're going to do another video on that. By the way, Gary's Tours releases videos every Friday, and these days we're doing an extra video to be released on Saturday or Sunday as well. So we're releasing about 2 new videos each week. We encourage you to check out our channel, and if you like what you see, subscribe and like. As a matter of fact, in about 40 days, we're going to Ireland for 5 weeks. And during that 5-week period, we're going to look for unusual things in Ireland to do videos about that haven't been covered. There are a lot of places like Valentia Island, which is in County Kerry, on the extreme west coast of Ireland. And it is very warm there. Never snows or freezes. Tropical plants grow there, and there's a lot of things that haven't been covered by other videographers. So we're going to go and do some videos of some of the unique aspects of certain parts of Ireland. The big scenes are always covered. There's plenty of videos of Dublin and things of that nature. But today we're going to do also a driving tour. We're going to drive down Broadway. When we get to the other side of this road, and this shorter video where I'm talking to you now may well be attached to that video. And we're going to be driving down Broadway, probably starting fairly high up on Broadway, and we're going to do a shot of Broadway and see what crowds are there today and see what it looks like, and give you a general idea of Broadway. Broadway was originally, before the colonists arrived, before New Amsterdam was formed, it was an Indian trail that went north through all of Manhattan. And once Amsterdam was formed, eventually it was called Broadway, and it goes about 27 miles. It goes the entire length of Manhattan into Westchester, into the Bronx rather, and then into Westchester, and even points north. It becomes 9W, I believe, or 9A. Possibly, I'm not sure which one of those two, but it's one of the older north-south roads in Manhattan. So it has a lot of historical data. I'm not going to bore you with the historical data today. We're just going to take a look at it as we drive south once again on Broadway and just check it out. We're going to go down probably to about 34th Street on Broadway and check it out for you. Now, I want to spare you the suffering that we all do when we're commuting to Manhattan of waiting a half hour to get onto the bridge. But you have to do that. You just need to be patient and do other things. Just like I'm talking about other videos that are coming. We have other coming attractions for you. We're going to do videos of the tallest buildings in Manhattan, starting with the Empire State Building. Then we're going to a building called The Edge, which was one of the newer tall buildings, and there's a place where you can go out. It's a deck on the 101st floor of the building, and it's glass on the floor of the building. You can look down and see how far up you are and what it would look like if you were falling down. There's also a bar and a restaurant there. We're going to be checking all that out for you and giving you a full detailed video of that. We're also going to do a video of the Top of the Rock, which is it's the top of the Rockefeller Center building, which is currently called the Comcast building, and we're going to go up and do that. We're also going to do those 3 buildings we're going to do. We're going to have videos coming out on those probably in June. Whatever we film today will come out on those probably during the month of June, because we're trying to fill things up so that we have time when we get back from Ireland to do a lot of editing. I'd like to thank you for all your subscriptions and your likes. Take a look at the More page. We sell, if you're interested in doing this sort of thing, we sell a lot of equipment, or actually we're a referral agent for Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything more to click through our site to buy the product, same price. Amazon just gives us a small commission. And we also have maps that we recommend that you get for if you're going to travel to Ireland. And there's a lot of interesting stuff there. Plus, if you want to do this, we recommend Epidemic Sound, where you can get a royalty-free sound to add to your video to make it more interesting. And we think this is, I've gotten really attracted to this. I've been doing these videos now for a relatively short period of time. I've only been making videos since really December, when I first started editing. I taught myself how to edit, and now I love it. It's become a new hobby for me. It's good training, and it's very complex. It's very hard, and it was very hard at first. It's getting easier as we go ahead. And I love 4K and Super HD videos. They really look beautiful. The color patterns are wonderful. And today we're anticipating a very blue sky day all day, which makes everything look better. All the videos look better. The people that you see look better, and they're more brightly lighted. Their clothing lights up. I'm excited about videoing today. So rather than put you through another 20 minutes, which is what they predict of waiting to get onto the bridge, I'll turn this back on before we get on the bridge. Stand by. Okay, we're approaching the bridge now, so it's time to get back to seeing what's going on. And while we were paused, it was still in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and it's good to know what bumper-to-bumper traffic feels like, because it makes it, if you're ever going to be thinking about coming to New York, you'll know what it's like. And the reason there's so much traffic, and people keep saying traffic has gotten worse, traffic has gotten worse, traffic has gotten worse. And I agree, traffic has gotten worse. And I'll tell you why. In 1960, the George Washington Bridge that we're going over, I believe, didn't have a lower level or an upper level, it just had one level. So it was 2 lanes in each direction. Now it's doubled that space. But in 1960, the population in the United States was 130 million people. Now, the population is 340 million people. So the population of the United States has almost tripled, and the size of the road to bring us to New York City, over the George Washington Bridge, has actually just doubled, but not tripled. And the same will apply, like we're going to be driving down Broadway. Broadway has been basically the same size since the 30s. It hasn't gotten any wider. As a matter of fact, it's actually gotten more narrow because of the pandemic. They've allowed restaurants to expand into the streets. And recently, the last mayor allowed people to use bicycle lanes, and bicycle lanes were built in most streets. I don't know what, in some parts of Broadway have them, some parts don't. But there's a lot of bicycle lanes taking up actually a full lane of traffic these days. Because they were encouraging people to ride bicycles rather than drive cars. Now we've just paid our toll electronically. No more toll collectors here. We went through the toll booth, and now we're getting ready to get on the bridge, and we still have bumper-to-bumper traffic, but my experience tells me that the traffic, now that we're down to the number of people, we're still merging a little bit. But it's going to traffic should start to ease very shortly, and we should get across the bridge in due course here. I just want you to see what it looks like, what the traffic's like, and what the bridge looks like. It's a beautiful bridge. It was one of the longest suspension bridges in the country when it was built. Suspension bridges means that the bridge is suspended from steel cables as opposed to being held together with, we have a bus about to cut us off. Good. Not a bus, a truck. Go ahead, cut me off. Very nice. And the cables that you see, there are 2 of them on each side. That's what the bridge actually is holding up the bridge. So the cable is very, very thick cables. Each cable consists of literally millions of thinner steel wires inside. And the cables are anchored on either side of the bridge on land, deep into the ground, with dead men holding them down. And each of those cables, which are covered to protect them from rust and other deterioration, whether they have a metal cover around them to protect them, actually literally supports the bridge in the center span of the bridge. So typically a suspension bridge is built with two bridge I don't know what the term is, points that hold up the bridge as you get onto it and support the cables. And the cables go between those 2 points, and then cables, thinner cables, come down from the thick cables and literally support the weight of the bridge. And they added, this was built originally with 1 cable, they added another cable and they put the lower level on to support the additional weight. In my youth, at some point in time, I think 7th grade, I did a report on all the bridges surrounding Manhattan. And that's how I acquired some of these facts. And like many people who do these driving videos or walking videos, they don't seem to want to talk that much. I can't keep my mouth closed. I don't know why, but I keep talking. So if you think I should stop talking, just leave a comment, tell me to stop talking. I will, for a little bit at least. But it's really hard for me to stop talking. I like to share with you folks whatever knowledge I may have, whatever scant knowledge I may have, or whatever great knowledge I may have. Mostly scant, I'd say. Now we're actually on the bridge, and things should start moving unless things are totally blocked up on the other side of the road, on the other side of the bridge. Manhattan is in our sights in the distance. We are still technically in New Jersey. We have not yet hit the center of the bridge. It's a beautiful sunny day with a blue sky. Somewhat hazy still, but the haze should burn off quickly, I suspect. I still love driving in Manhattan. I love the traffic. I probably would get tired of it if I had to do it every day, but at this point in my life, I don't have to do it every day anymore. That makes me happy. In my prior existence, I used to drive 40, 50,000 miles a year, and I was hitting traffic almost every day. Louis Nyer wrote a book, My Life in Court. He was a trial lawyer. I was a trial lawyer too, and I was thinking of writing a book, My Life on the Long Island Expressway, because that's where I spent most of my life. Now, you see, I got into the center lane here because we have actually the number 2 lane, because we have to make a right turn on the other side of the bridge. I foolishly signaled too quickly, and the person behind me tried to stop me from getting in, which is typical New York and New Jersey type driving. So never signal till you're in already made your lanes change. But don't tell the police I told you that. It's probably illegal to say that. They're working on the bridge. Constant maintenance goes on the bridge. You don't want the infrastructure on a bridge like this to fail. I think we're in the center now. Yes, soon. Where the bridge, where the cables hit the lowest point, you notice they go up and they go down. Right now the cables are still going downward. When they go downward, that is the center of the bridge, and that would be probably the dividing line between New York and New Jersey. Now on the right side of the bridge, a half mile down or so, we have Columbia, New York Columbia University Hospital, formerly Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. It's part of Columbia University. It's a teaching hospital, one of the best hospitals in the world. Now we have hit the bottom, and we are now in the state of New York. We're now going to get into the right lane so we can get on and start heading south, so we can make our way to Broadway. We're getting off on 9A, going southbound. You can't see it, but I'm looking to my right, and I can see the Hudson River. It looks very gentle, no waves. And you may have noticed a little bouncing there. We're in the center of the bridge, and the bridge literally bounces up and down. It has to. It has to bend. It has to flex, or it will break. It's designed that way. It's designed to be able to go up and down. Sign coming up, it says 9A. I'm going to, at this point in time, stop the video until we get onto Broadway. So thank you for watching, Remember, if you like the video, subscribe and like. There's a police car. Don't the police cars look cool these days? Do you think he has enough lights on? This is the 9A, the Henry Hudson Parkway. It should take us southbound. This officer's got something else in mind, and he's turning a U-turn. We should be going southbound. Uh-oh, we're going northbound. Big mistake. Now you should pick up, that's a beautiful view across the river of Jersey. There's the view of Manhattan from here. These are all beautiful condominium apartment buildings. We're going down on Riverside Drive. Riverside Drive. We're down at ground level and we're heading downtown. We're eventually going to pick up Broadway and restart our video at that point. Hey, Gary's Tour fans, we're now on Broadway going south. We're at 158th Street. That's really high up. The real action begins with when you get to the theater district, which is around probably 50th Street. But we'll start high and work our way down. It still may be an interesting video for you folks who haven't been on Broadway. This is where we just passed New York University Columbia Hospital, which used to be called Columbia Presbyterian, and we're going southbound, doing a 4K HD, Super HD actually, video. And of course, everyone's in a hurry in New York. I'm not going fast enough for the gentleman behind me. He's eagerly tailgating me. Go for it. Get a ticket while you're at it, will you? It's an absolutely gorgeous day today. Beautiful, beautiful day. We're following a garbage truck ahead of us. Looks like a commercial garbage truck. Once again, as I keep explaining to people, my headlights for whatever reason, on a digital video appear to be flashing, whereas to the naked eye looking at them, they don't flash. It's almost like those things that you used to be able to see on digital still cameras. The orbitals, they were like, if you look outside, you see these round glowing orbs that, if you look closely at them, had multiple colors. People used to wonder what they were. Were they the souls of other people? Or I remember I was in Gettysburg, where in 3 or 4 days, about 5,000 soldiers died. And when we were out at night with digital cameras taking photographs, you'd see all these orbs. It seems like in places where something like that happened in the past, there's more orbs. So it made us to think that maybe they're in some way related to the souls of the people who died. Don't know. But it's fun to think about things like that. So Broadway. It goes all the way into Westchester and points north. Beautiful day for a ride on Broadway. The sun is over in the east, so we can see all the people as we go down Broadway. When we get down to the end of our path, we're probably going to turn around and walk up Broadway. We're at 140th Street now. When you come to New York, it sounds sort of foolish to even tell you this, but I should tell you this. New Yorkers know it, but not everyone who comes as a visitor knows it. In many places, if you have a restaurant or a hamburger place or something, you're required to have bathrooms for your patrons. That law doesn't exist in New York City. They're not required to have bathrooms. Some do, some don't. Bars usually do, because they want you to stay there and people are drinking a lot. So they need to discharge their urine. But there's no guarantee you can find a place to go to the bathroom. So when you come to New York, be prepared for the fact that it may be hard to find a bathroom. You may be driving around for a couple of hours looking for a place to park. Usually hotels will offer bathrooms. Quality restaurants will offer bathrooms. Bars usually offer bathrooms. But there can be an issue. So keep that in mind. It's not a good time to drink gallons and gallons of water before you come, because you might find yourself screaming for a bathroom, and there may not be one around. There's no legal requirement to give you bathrooms, and there's no public toilets. Some cities like Paris have public toilets all over the place. There are no public toilets available here. There are some in the subways, but you probably would be advised not to go in those locations. They could be potentially places where it might be dangerous to go in. There could be people lurking there who might want to try to steal from you. Gas stations are good. Often you can find a bathroom at a gas station, but there's no guarantee of that either. All right, I know you're in a big hurry, guy. He wants to pass me. Go ahead. Go, make some money. A yellow cab wishes to shoot past me because he's in a hurry. Go ahead. Let's record your plate number for posterity here. No such luck. Now we're at 125th Street. This is where Harlem actually, this is the center, the main drag, as they say, of Harlem. So we're in the middle of Harlem right now. There's the 125th Street bus just going by. Lots of little bodegas and little grocery stores around here. That's where a lot of folks get their food. Usually you don't find a lot of large grocery stores, though. There's more Citibank bicycles or motorized bicycles. Electric bicycles, I should say. Lots of housing here. College we're passing through. On the right side of the road, and on the left side of the road is Columbia University. In my youth, I used to go to the library there frequently to do term papers. They have an excellent library at Columbia University, particularly if you want original old texts. I was into colonial American history in those days, still am, and I would look for. They had a large collection in their collection of older colonial newspapers that I could look at. And I enjoyed reading the ads and things in colonial newspapers and did papers on that. What it was like to write in a colonial newspaper, their methods of writing, their style of writing. Also called Cathedral Parkway. Manhattan's the one. This would be called at this point the Upper West Side of Manhattan. This point, from this point south, it gets quite exclusive and quite expensive. Everyone wants to live on the Upper West Side these days. Broadway is deviated somewhat to the left. Broadway doesn't really go due north and south. It generally does, but it's not straight. It weaves in and out a little bit because it was really the first road that was here before the city was designed and the streets were laid out. As I've told other folks listening to these videos, New York is easy to follow because in New York the even streets go east odd streets go west most of the time. Like this is 103rd Street, and you see the sign one way, and it's going westbound. And bicyclists always go through the lights. I don't know why, but they enjoy going through the lights, I guess. Although, as I said in prior videos, the rules of the road apply legally to bicyclists as well. Bicyclists are supposed to follow the same rules of the road as everybody else. Traffic's not very heavy today. speed limit is 25 miles an hour throughout Manhattan. Many times people will try to go faster than that. It doesn't really help you that much. Wears out your brakes faster. Little bursts of speed here and there, then you have to slow down and stop. Garbage truck. That's like a New York City garbage truck, I'd say. Sanitation, Department of Sanitation. A little bumpy here and there. So once again, I like talking, and if you prefer I just drive around and not talk and let you see what's there to be seen, just leave a comment and I'll stop talking a little bit, or I'll try to. It's really hard for me to stop talking. I love talking. That's actually what sets me aside from, or makes me different than the other people who do driving videos and walking videos, is I can't stop talking. I love talking, explaining everything I see. 91st Street, we're coming down. Years ago, from 86th Street to about 95th Street was the German part, particularly on the eastern side of Manhattan. We're on the western side, but it was called Germantown originally. A lot of German immigrants lived there. That may have dissipated to some extent at this point. Fifth Street. We're making relatively good progress, and traffic's not that bad right now. Of course, it's relatively early in the morning. It's it's March 13th at 10:52 a.m. It's a Thursday today. Fun to look at the people. Always fun to look at the people. And they look great in 4K. Here comes a fire truck on the other side of the road. Let's see where he's going. I hear his siren. You probably can too. Looks like he's stopping. Side of the road we just passed. Lots of markets for fruits and vegetables and things like that. No big name stores though. We still don't see shopping centers that much around here. When I say shopping center, I mean large food stores selling food. Supermarkets. Mostly small little markets. This is 72nd Street. You know, so 72nd Street goes two ways, 125th Street goes two ways. The rules I told you about, evens going east and odds going west, don't apply to some streets, and 72nd Street is one of them. 72nd Street is sort of across town avenue. Clean energy bus ahead of us. So I hope you come to New York, and I hope you enjoy New York City when you come. There's lots of things to see and do. Stay just out of if you want to be budget wise, you can stay out of New York and stay just outside of New York, and you can save a substantial amount of money. By the way, it's illegal to blow the horn in New York City. Mentioned previously, I learned to drive on 59th Street in Manhattan, and one of the students got behind a police car and started blowing the horn because, whatever reason, I guess he wasn't afraid of the ticket that he might get. Although the police officers did have some comment as we drove by and stopped next to them. Down at 69th Street. Now we're getting into the area where you're going to find things start to getting interesting. Broadway will become the Broadway that you're used to looking at. Broadway in the theater district. We're not there yet, but we're getting close. TD Bank. People don't know what TD Bank means. It means Toronto Dominion. It's a Canadian bank. They bought another bank that opened lots of offices and went bankrupt. I think it was Commercial Bank or something like that it was called. I forget the name of it, years and years ago, 10, 15 years ago. But TD came down. They also owned a stock trading platform, TD Ameritrade. They bought a stock trading platform called Ameritrade, and they just sold it to Schwab recently. Great platform. They have a trading platform called Sink or Swim, which is excellent. Soon we will be, in the next few moments, we should be approaching the Great White Way. On our quest. Signs becoming more prevalent. We're at 63rd Street. There are, from about the high 50s, you get some theaters. Around 54th Street, you start getting theater district. Some theaters appear there. New York Institute of Technology, a college is here. Studio and 4-bedroom apartments. I wonder what they charge. Passing Columbus Circle now. This is 59th Street. One of the few roundabouts in the city of New York. Very common to have roundabouts in Europe, but very rare in the United States. And to our left is Central Park South, which is also known as 59th Street. Another two-way street, by the way. Now we're back in Broadway, and we're in earnest, getting very close to the district at this point. Pedestrian traffic is getting much more intense, as is vehicle traffic. Just passed another Citibank electric bike rack. Bikes all over the place. That's what the last mayor wanted. He wanted to have less cars and more bikes. He probably got his wish. You notice there's a green bike lane. There's a gentleman on a bike next to me. There he is. As I always tell people, bikes are nice. It's good to bike. It's good exercise. And the Insurance Institute says you're going to have 6 reportable accidents in your lifetime. And if I get hit in the rear in this car by someone going between 20 and 40 miles an hour, I will probably survive. If I get hit in the rear on a bicycle by someone going at the same speed, I may or may not survive. I love looking at the people as they cross the streets. Where's that young lady going? They're still dressed for winter. It's 52 degrees right now. Now we have hotels, and we're actually getting very close to the theater district. I have a big tip coming up for you as to how you can save a small fortune going to Broadway plays and Broadway musicals. We're going to have that very soon. It's the best tip in this video. It's worth waiting for. How to save money. How to save as much as half to 70% of the ticket price. How about that? That makes it worth watching this video. I'd subscribe and like just for that alone. Now we're definitely in the theater district. There's an interesting looking bus covered with growing material on it. Now we're getting to Times Square. And the beautiful signs. I love the size of these signs. Clearly a beautiful day today. This is an early spring we're getting here in the Northeast. Where it's about a month ahead of schedule. It's going to be 70 degrees today in New York. And as I say, it's March 13th. That's about a month earlier than it should be this way. I guess it's attributable to global warming, global climate change, however you characterize it. I find looking at the people so interesting. Look at the signs as we look down Broadway. Aren't they beautiful? How about colorful? Great, what a great word. There's Junior's, a famous restaurant on the left side of the road. Been there for a million years. Inexpensive food. At least at one point in time it was inexpensive. And here's a NYPD vehicle putting up do not cross signs, or do not cross not 2x4s, do not cross barriers, I guess we call them. Notice how there's there's a number, a 4-digit number, and 20. 20 means the 20th precinct, and the 9863 is the number of the vehicle. And in New York State, police vehicles are not required to go to the state to get plates. They manufacture their own plates and put them on their vehicles. Most states don't do that. Florida doesn't, Pennsylvania doesn't. That's a antiquity going for New York City and the state of New York. Souvenir stores are open already, I see. Sadly, this police truck is blocking our view. Well, now they're putting up more barriers, so we're going to stay here till they get done with their barriers. Police line, do not cross. See, it's also a stoplight for bicyclists as well. How about that? They're making bicyclists obey the law. Are they turning? Where are they going? Yeah, see, we're blocked off here. And actually, Broadway now deviates and splits in two. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and go down this side of Broadway. It's still Broadway. It says 7th Avenue, but it becomes Broadway. Broadway is barricaded off there, and they put planters in the middle of Broadway for some unknown reason. Those gentlemen in the red that you see are advertising hop-on, hop-off buses, which is something you might consider as a tourist. You can get a hop-on, hop-off bus, and you can get if you get the NYC sightseeing pass, which I recommend that you get, it cuts the price of all the places that you want to see down to 50% of what they normally charge. And one of the things you can sign up for is a hop-on, hop-off bus, which is a good way to save money in buses and Uber and things of that nature. Now, up ahead on the right is the where you see the sign that says TKTS. That's abbreviation for tickets. That is the famous tickets place to buy tickets for Broadway shows at between half and 70% off. No guarantee what you're going to get. Show up 4 hours before showtime, 3-4 hours before showtime, you get a ticket. Or you get a couple tickets. The line is there already. And it's you can save a small fortune. It's the best way to see plays and shows is the way New Yorkers do it. And if you live in New York, you look in the paper, determine the Broadway shows you want to see, and just show up. And they may say, no, we don't have that show today. Okay, show up next week, maybe they will. Absolutely beautiful day today, and beautiful signs. A Disney store, a Levi's store, a Sephora store. guess the people who are tourists brought their winter coats. That's why they're wearing winter coats. They'll regret that this afternoon when it's 70 degrees outside. These signs are so cool. It's like watching super big screen Jumbotron screens. Approaching what could be called the end of the theater district. Another couple blocks and we'll be at the end point in this video. More great people walking across our field of vision. Jameson is celebrating St. Patrick's Day already. I'm more of a Guinness person myself. So if you enjoyed this ride down Broadway, and we're in the Great White Way now, that's because it's so highly lighted at night. That's why they call it the Great White Way. If you enjoyed this ride, hopefully you subscribe and like so we can do more. Remember, we have videos coming out every Friday, early in the wee hours of the morning. They're released every Friday. We also frequently release extra videos on Saturdays and Sundays. Great signs down here. You can watch the colorful signs all day long. Say nothing watching the people all day long. Where are they going? Where do they live? What are they doing here? Why are they here? New Yorkers are always in a rush. Go into a diner or a restaurant, if they don't get service within the first minute and a half, they usually get up and leave. It's different in other parts of the country where people move at a slower pace. Flashing light issue, I believe, is something called resonance. It's like when you open your window slightly and you hear the wind making a funny noise because it's resonating at the same frequency as you're moving along. And the reason you see them flashing and not as steady lights is because they're resonating with the frame speed, which is currently 60 frames per second. Remember, this is a 4K video because you get better color and you get better quality, sharper images, and it's actually theater quality and broadcast quality. Many videos that you see on YouTube are not 4K and are not. Most of the videos on YouTube are just HD videos. This is a step above HD, and the extra doubling the rate of the number of frames uses more space. It makes it hard to edit. It takes longer to upload and download. Creates extra problems, and it's harder to work with. But the quality result is wonderful. At this point, we're getting near the end of our trip on Broadway. We're leaving the exciting part of Broadway and getting back into a more mundane part. So at this point, we're going to thank you for watching, and we're going to stop the video at this point. Thank you once again for watching our video.